everyone had a great weekend. I actually made it to two movies this weekend. I doubled up. Friday, Friday night, I went to see Saturday night. Wait a minute, how does that work? It's kind of like I had a time machine. I hopped in the time machine. I visited Saturday night and came back. No, Saturday night is a new movie that's out, and so Friday night I saw Saturday night on Friday night. So I saw Saturday night on Friday night. Yeah, enough of that. It's a movie that looks at the very first episode of Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live has been going for 50 years now, and so there's a movie called Saturday Night that basically is real live time. It looks at the 90 minutes leading into the very first episode. So the movie starts and you're like 90 minutes from showtime, and it's live time. The whole it's like a 90-minute movie that runs 90 minutes of time in real life. So it looks at the 90 minutes leading into the very first episode of Saturday Night Live. And I got to say, the casting director should have an Oscar because the people they casted, I could believe, was a young Chevy Chase, a young Jane Curtin, a young John Belushi. They looked fabulous. It's like I could really believe that was those people 50 years ago. Casting director was, and they did a fabulous job. They made you believe they were those people because their mannerisms, the way they spoke, it was wonderful. So I enjoyed that. Saw Saturday night on Friday night, and then on Sunday I went to see Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. It's a documentary. I haven't seen a documentary in the movie theaters in a long, long time. So, I mean, it was a documentary style, doing lots of interviews with family and friends and celebrities that knew Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve made the first four Superman movies back in the 70s and 80s, and they were incredible. For the time, it was just unbelievable. That first Superman movie had people believing that you could fly. It was tremendous. And Christopher Reeve was basically an unknown actor at the time. They decided, after looking at a whole bunch of different actors, they decided to cast an unknown actor as Superman and surround him with well-known actors. And it worked really well. Christopher Reeve made four movies. But then he fell off a horse, landed on his head, and was paralyzed from the neck down for the last 10 years of his life. So this documentary was really interesting, going through, looking at his life, talking to his kids and other people, and the foundation him and his wife started to help people that are paralyzed. So very, very interesting, very, very interesting documentary. I really enjoyed it. My daughter and son-in-law went with. My son-in-law is a movie guy. He's very much aware of that. But my daughter, who knew nothing about Christopher Reeves, came away going, "Wow, that was something." But take your Kleenex, man. I was about to cry when his wife was speaking at his funeral. That video of that. It was just tremendous. But really, really, really good. But Saturday night was done very good. I was very impressed with Saturday night. It was done very nice. So we had Saturday night and saw two movies. And next week, just to get everybody up to speed, this is an A-day week on Friday. So we have class on Wednesday and Friday this week. We also have parent-teacher conferences Thursday night. Yes, I know we just had them 3 weeks ago. We're about to have them again. So we have parent-teacher conferences until 7:45 p.m. on Thursday. They'll be here. And Thursday is the PSAT. All sophomores and juniors are taking the PSAT on Thursday. Seniors are doing a work keys thing, and some freshmen are doing community service type things. So everybody's got something Thursday. It's not going to be a normal. There's not going to be classes except for, I think, 8th hour. There'll be 8th hour classes on Thursday. I don't have an 8th hour, so I don't remember to say that all the time. So Thursday will be PSAT and the parent-teacher conferences. Friday's an A-day. And then next week is fall break. So we have no classes Monday and Tuesday next week. So make sure you get all your work done. Get everything caught up in your classes by this Friday so you can enjoy a nice 4-day weekend without any thing hanging over your head. A guilt-free 4-day weekend. So I got to see what movie's coming out then. So means next week we will not have class on Monday. We will have class on Wednesday. Mandatory classes Wednesday and Thursday because you'll need to know what we're doing starting in next. But let's go ahead and get class. What do we got here? 7. We got 26 of us. 80%, maybe. Let's put this up. I know you guys are dying to know what's going on with algebra this week. Actually, we're going to have a pretty quick class today. Primarily because if we go to the grade screen, let's do that. We scroll down, we see, oh, October 20th is this Sunday. We just have the test. We are done with Module 2. I'm not doing a discussion based this time. We will do a discussion based again next unit. I don't have time to do it every time because I got other classes too. But we have the test part 1 and part 2. So we'll take a look at that while we're here in class. No new lesson this week. Nothing new. We've taught you everything you need to know for this. Let's go down here to the practice test. We should have done that last week. There was the video where I took the practice test. But let's look at part 1. So part 1 is our multiple choice section. Go back and review these things. Go back and look at the practice test, see what you need to look at. But write this as a rational exponent, right? This is a radical. Rewrite it as a rational exponent. Simplify this. Power to a power principle. Solve for x. See, that's one of those that have the square root with the x underneath that. You got to isolate that, square both sides type thing. Simplify this. So simplify the radicals and write this as a complex number. Complex number means imaginary because the square root of negative 36 is imaginary. So simplify that. Here's multiplying two binomials. They have complex numbers. They both have an imaginary part. Multiplying those. Simplify this one where you're multiplying those together. Here you're multiplying 2 times x plus 7 times x squared plus 3x minus 6. Here's subtracting polynomials. Finding the volume. If the length is this, the width is this, and the height is this, and the volume is length times width times height, multiply those together. Which one of these polynomials is that? And then number 10, multiply that. So we have 10 multiple choice questions for part 1. 10 multiple choice questions. Let's look at part 2. Part 2, 1, 2, 3. We have 4 that you have to type your answer. Right? Describe how to transform this into an expression with a rational exponent. So you need to give the steps in doing that. And some of you struggle. It's like, how do I write that in Buzz? Use this insert equation button. And you see, they have parentheses there. So if we put parentheses, and then they want the cubed root of x to the 7th. So if I go down here to the second row, root y of x. The y is outside the radical. So this is a third root of x to the 7th. So I need to put to the 7th. Now notice, look, this is what it's going to look like. The 7th is outside of the radical. If I have multiple items that's supposed to be underneath the radical, I just put parentheses around those now. Parentheses, x to the 7th, parentheses. And look, now x to the 7th is all underneath the radical. And then I can say all of that to the 5th power. See, so I can make it look exactly like the problem does right there by using parentheses. I put parentheses around the root, the radical, so I can raise it to the 5th power outside the parentheses. And I put parentheses around everything that I want to be inside the radical. So yeah, you can do that, make it look like a radical should. Also with rational exponents, if this was going to equal, let's say, x to the 2/3, it doesn't equal x to the 2/3. That's not the answer, people. But if I want it to look like that, and I say x to the 2/3, look what it did. It did x squared divided by 3. That's not x to the 2/3. But if I put parentheses around the 2/3, now it shows x to the 2/3. Using parentheses around stuff you're trying to keep together will make it look right. See, x to the 2/3. It's pretty small, but it's visible. I can blow it up and look at it if I need to. So this one, you're trying to transform this into an expression with a rational exponent. Show the steps on how you get there. Solve this one. Show each step of your solution. Is your answer extraneous? Hint, hint. You might have two answers. Multiply these together. Show all work. It's worth 10 points. If you just give me an answer, you might get like 4 or 5 points. You got to show the work to get the 10 points. And then here is a function x. F of x is the amount of money that Raul earns per ticket when x is the number of tickets sold. G of x is the number of tickets he sells. X is the number of hours worked. So find f of g of x. Remember, that's where you substitute g of x into f of x. And then can you tell me what that means? What is f of g of x? Is that if he works 5 hours, that's how many tickets he sells? If he sells 5 tickets, is that many hours he has to work? What is it? Does that have something to do with the money he earns? Number of tickets sold or number of hours worked? Figure that out. But there are the equations. So that's it, guys. We just have the test this week. So don't wait to do it at the end of the week. Work on it some. So if you get stuck and have questions, you can come to class Wednesday or Friday. And I'm not going to tell you the answer, but I will help you understand how to work the problem. I may do a different problem that's similar to help you understand how to do the problem. I'm not going to do your test problem, but I can help you if you get stuck. And since it's a 4-day weekend, the test is due Sunday, but am I looking at it Monday? No, I'm taking a 4-day weekend as well. Well, we have a teacher work day on Tuesday, so I may look at it Tuesday. But still, don't wait till the end of the week. Get it done. Enjoy your 4 days. Get all your classwork done by Friday and say, I'm going to have 4 days guilt-free of just me vegging, doing whatever I want to. That's what I plan on. I plan on enjoying my time off and not worry about school until school time. So, all right, guys. I don't have anything else for you. Since we're not learning anything new, you just have a test. You can start on the test now if you want to get a jump start on your week because you've got plenty of time. It's only 1 o'clock. So I'll stay in class if anyone's got questions. If you have something you struggled with on the practice test and you're like, I need to know how to do that before I take the test, that's what I'm here for. Bring it up and let's take a look at it. Otherwise, you guys can go work. I'm finished. Have a great week.